Have you ever heard of the movie The Layover? No? Of course you haven't. Nobody has. There's literally only 7 critic reviews on Metacritic and less than 7,000 reviews, user reviews, on IMDb. When I go into one of these reviews, I normally research a film pretty extensively, and I can usually uncover some interesting behind-the-scenes stuff, some interesting production stuff, or some interesting, like, analytical things about a movie. But here, this movie seems like somebody is actively trying to cover it up. The trailer on YouTube managed to almost bring in 10 million views, but only 6,000 people ended up reviewing it? It's a little odd, especially considering who's in this movie: Alexandra Daddario, Kate Upton, and the director, who I will remain a secret. Not only this, but what's even crazier about this movie is that Box Office Mojo, the website where you can go and check out the film's budget or check out its worldwide gross or what have you, doesn't even have any info on this movie. There's literally no information about The Layover, and I don't know why. The best thing I've been able to find about The Layover is the quotes section on IMDb, where most comedies, the best part of a comedy can be the one-liners, where you and your friends can say the one-liner to each other as some kind of inside joke, like, hey, we saw this movie, so we can recite these lines and know what we're talking about. And so most comedies do have a couple one-liners or some memorable moments. So when I was checking out the quotes, which is where the one-liners or the memorable moments would normally be, The Layover had 3? Only 3 in a 90-minute comedy, so I would like to read some of those for you now, or all of them, because there's only 3. So here we go, the quotes for The Layover. Number 1, Meg, you can have him if I can have the fireman from last season. Kate, oh, that fireman. Meg, he was a panty dropper. Kate, yes, yes, yes. That's quote 1. Quote 2, Kate, what kind of comic is this? Demarius, it's not a comic, it's a manga. That's quote 2. Quote 3, Meg, you buy socks and I suck, ... Kate, okay, I got it. And those are the quotes for the Layover movie. That's kind of all I've got as far as context goes for this movie, so let's just get into the movie.
I'm warning you, I'm going to get angry, do you see? We are going to have fun on this island. Understand? We are going to have fun on this island. Come now, said the Lord of the Flies. Get back to the others and we'll forget the whole thing. This has gone quite far enough, my poor misguided child. Do you think you know better than I do?
Okay, so we have civilization versus savagery and reason versus impulse. So many exciting themes in one little
Wow, what do you know? Another just embarrassing opening scene. Why is it that whenever I watch these movies, they all have just like the worst opening scenes ever? Maybe it's because I choose the worst movies ever. That's probably it. So the first thing we see in this movie are the credits, of course, but we hear some audio sampling of some person reading like text, like a book. And then we open on Alexandra Daddario, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. And she's a high school English teacher, which is stupid because, I mean, she's super hot. She's well cast in Baywatch as the super hot chick that has really nice acting ability. But does she work as a teacher?
What kind of comic is this?
It's not comic, it's manga.
No, not at all. Normally, when you cast a high school English teacher, you cast somebody that, you know, you can cast somebody that's attractive, sure, but they kind of have to ooze this smart, sophisticated intelligence to them that makes you believe that they're actually capable of being a high school teacher.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Meg. I feel like I am in your intestines.
Take it.
Stop it.
Take it.
Oh my God.
Coming too.
And Alexandra Daddario is not that at all. She plays the same exact character in Baywatch that she does here. She's just the kind of ditzy bimbo.
You just look at my boobs?
No, I didn't.
Whoa.
So that doesn't make the...
So who decided to cast her as an English teacher? That doesn't make any sense. But I guess she makes up one half of the duo here, Kate Upton being the other half. So let's see where her character goes, or who her character is, I guess.
You're trying to sell Harold's, a North Korean product?
Maybe.
The North Korea
against which the United States has an embargo.
Now that embargo is kind of like Cuba. You know, it's sort of symbolic.
Oh, nope, she's terrible too. Kate Upton is trying to sell these products, beauty products, to a company, and they have North Korean stickers on them, which the US has an embargo on, which you can hear here. But as we'll learn a little bit later, Kate Upton and Alexandra Daddario spent who knows how much time peeling off all the stickers from thousands of different bottles.
Remember all those little North Korean stickers we peeled off the bottles?
Yeah, of course. There are like 10,000 of them.
Well, it turns out there's 10,001.
Oh, no.
But then they left on one, and that was the kicker. The person figured out that it was North Korean because of one sticker. But that's stupid. If you spent this much time peeling off stickers, why didn't you check the ones that you were bringing to the demo? Why wouldn't you want to double check your products before you bring them in to have them inspected? Are you really that stupid? I don't think anybody on earth is this stupid. This is like imbecile. This is like, what's his name? Steve Carell from Anchorman levels of stupidity here.
I'm Britt Tamlin. People seem to like me because I am polite and I'm rarely late. I like to eat ice cream and I really enjoy a nice pair of slacks. Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48 and am what some people call mentally retarded.
So in the first 5 minutes, Alexandra Daddario gets told that she should quit, even though they don't explicitly say that, and Kate Upton isn't able to sell her North Korean products, so they're kind of screwed, I guess.
You're getting fired?
Excuse me. I gotta get going.
Okay.
Can I get my clothes?
All right. Sorry. I can't seem to. Shirt, pants, pink underwear. No, that's mine. Thanks for the lift.
You're gonna give me a good review, right?
5 stars. You buy socks and I suck.
Cox, she was gonna say Cox, you know, like a rooster. But it's a little odd that there's not like a actual cock there. Like maybe they indeed will turn the camera and will reveal the.
You can have him if I can have the fireman from last season.
Fireman.
He was a panty dropper.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And for the record, just because I don't sleep around doesn't mean I couldn't compete against a group of women.
Did you just take a shot at me? Was that a drive-by?
You drive-by'd me. Big girl pants?
That was a slick move. She's definitely getting a rose.
So these two watch The Bachelor and they argue over whether or not they would be good on the show, and Kate Upton and Alex take shots at each other and you'd be bad at the show. No, you'd be bad at the show. Who cares? I don't care. Why are we watching this? But it is painfully obvious that this is going to be the plot of the movie, that they're going to have to fight over some guy.
I'm not going on vacation right now. You're completely insane.
We are going to miss this flight. This is completely insane. Why even ask me if you did just make us miss the goddamn flight? Sir,
we can get out of here.
Stop! Don't yell at the poor guy.
Thank you, sir. You pay the driver, I'll get the bags.
Oh my God! Look at this line. We are going to miss this flight.
And then we cut directly to them in a taxi, and we get this horrible dialogue and the horrible ADR work. Like, it's pretty clear that they're just not talking in the car.
Stop! Don't yell at the poor guy.
Thank you, sir. You pay the driver, I'll get the bags.
So now Kate Upton is slamming this Dr. Pepper like it's something super impressive, and everyone behind her is like, whoa, how is she doing that? This is crazy. Except Shoe Nice on YouTube, like, shotguns Fireball whiskey on a semi-regular basis, so this is not impressive at all.
The oxygen goes into the bottle. Either way. Hope that wasn't a pubic hair. Shoe Nice. Dime.
Excuse me. I think I'm in the middle there.
But now they're finally on this airplane, which I'm assuming is where they're going to be laid over, to have their layover. And this super hunky guy comes and sits in the middle of them because they bought a window seat and an outside seat to leave the middle seat open. What if it was like some super fat guy that came and sat down? Or an old lady, or an old man with a breathing problem or something. After the painfully embarrassing scene on the plane, a hurricane makes their plane divert to St. Louis, where they have to spend a couple of nights or a night or something.
Oh God, your friend's wedding.
Yeah, it's not for a few days. I was going down early for the Bachelor party. But you guys will be fine. No natural disaster is going to stop my buds from getting embarrassingly drunk. Hey, you guys want to get a drink later tonight? Might as well make the best of this, right?
So it turns out that the hunk guy is at the same hotel that they are, and they go to a bar to have some drinks with him, and then they get painfully awful dialogue from two throwaway characters.
See, this guy didn't have a prayer, but he did have this gorgeous defense attorney.
Gorgeous and gifted defense attorney. All charges were dropped.
Well, not entirely. I did manage to negotiate into the plea bargain that Nancy go on a date with me.
First time in my career, I got 2 men off in one day.
More than once, as I recall.
I could have you disbarred, you know?
Yeah? I could have you mounted.
I'll mount you.
In the cuffs?
I'll blindfold you first.
Oh, interrogation.
Little Q&A.
I think we lost it.
And it's at this point when Kate Upton and Alex start going really hard after this guy. And they are kicking off the competition between the two to try and win his heart, I suppose, or sleep with him first, or I don't know, go on a date. I'm not sure what they're trying to do. Just win something, I don't know. So they decide to go dancing here on the dance floor, and it's one of the ugliest looking scenes in cinematic history. Like, not only is it basically impossible to see what's going on here, but it's so oversaturated and there's so many different colors that it's just a visual mess. It's so noisy to look at, and then there's like constant editing between random people in the crowd and our main characters, and it just, I have no idea what's happening. Like, they're dancing, who is that? I don't know who this is. Are they on the floor, dance floor, or where are they? Are they in some kind of like, I don't know, I can't see. Is she, wait, what's happening now? Oh, her boob popped out? I can't tell. What's going, oh, it's over now. So now it's become abundantly clear that these two main actors are not only horribly miscast for their roles, but they are amazingly unlikable in this. These two characters, as you'll see later, as things start to escalate, they are the worst kind of people. They literally ruin people's lives in this movie. We watch them ruin people's lives, and yet we're supposed to feel sympathy for them?
But we did not know that he was getting married. He lied to us, and he will lie to you.
What have I been...
Shut up, Dad! You deserve better. You're a piece of shit, Carlos!
Carlos.
You don't? And the movie plays it off like it's some quirky, funny thing that's happening. But no, they're just tearing people apart, and it's just impossible to care about them at all. Like, of course, Kate Upton's the slutty girl. Ooh, look at me. I'm gonna get the guy's pants down. And, like, that's not exactly relatable, I think, to most people. But then you get Alexandra Daddario, who's supposed to be the English teacher, and she's supposed to be sort of the grounded audience character that we can relate with. And she is just horrible. She might be worse than Kate Upton in this movie. She does some straight up awful things. So how can we relate to either of these people? You just can't. And that is what destroys this movie. I mean, of course there are plenty of other things. I mean, almost everything it does is wrong, but this is what just completely destroys this movie. I hate these two people. I hate them. But what I'm trying to say is that they're so unlikable that it makes the movie unbearable. That's pretty much the straight answer here. But anyway, Kate Upton wants to go on a balloon ride with this hunk guy because she knows that Alexandra has some fear of heights.
Oh, no, I know. How about you hit the museum, Ryan and I will go on the balloon, and then we can all meet up for dinner later.
Yeah, if you're scared of flying.
No, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. It's just airplanes, so I'll go.
And she knows this, but she pretends like she doesn't. And Alex is like, okay, I'll just do it. It shouldn't be a big deal. And then we get one of the weirdest scenes in this movie. Not even like one of the worst, it's just strange.
All right then. Let's touch the sky.
But if you pay attention, it's almost abundantly clear that they shot the majority of this scene on a soundstage. Like any time that the balloon is in frame, it's like on this bluish white backdrop with nothing behind it. And then there's a lot of the clips in the scene are just inside the balloon's like carriage. So it's like the most lazy looking thing. They like blow a little wind on the actors' faces to make it look like they're in midair when they're just clearly not. And it's at this point in the movie where it becomes pretty clear that the director is just a straight up amateur, that he has no idea what he's doing. And now is the time to reveal who the director is, and it is, unfortunately, William H. Macy. That's right, acclaimed, what's the Golden Globe winning actor from Shameless.
This is really my humor. I love slapstick, I love broad comedy, and I'm crazy for women. I'm surrounded by women. I live with all women, and I don't understand them fully, but I'm fascinated by them.
I mean, I like William H. Macy for the most part. I think he can be pretty funny. I think he's pretty decent on the Shameless from what I've seen. I haven't seen a whole lot, but he's all right on it. But man, does he suck at directing. Most of the shots are incredibly basic static shots that don't move hardly at all, and if there is movement, it's just very basic. And when a scene becomes a little bit more complicated than just a couple of people standing around in a hotel room, bar, or pool area, then Macy turns to like the most lazy way of filmmaking he can. He just seems to actively avoid directing difficult situations and instead turns to the easiest alternative possible, like, oh, we need them to be driving in a car. Yeah, just put them on a green screen. Oh, they're in a hot air balloon? Yeah, just put them on a green screen. I don't care. There's so much more to directing, a comedy specifically, than just plopping your camera down and making your actors say funny lines. I mean, we can look at Edgar Wright as a perfect example of a director who uses the entire medium of film to be funny. He uses visual effects, sight gags, background gags, dialogue, characters' movements, lighting cues, music stings, etc., to be funny. If you don't like the dialogue in one of his movies, there is guaranteed to be something funny in it because he uses every single bit of the medium to be comedic. And William H. Macy uses just one, and that's dialogue. It seems like he is just actively not caring about the movie he's making.
And you know, I know it's early, but I don't think anything can get in the way of how I shit. It's my ex.
A big one?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Meg. I feel like I am in your intestines.
Take it.
Stop it.
Take it.
Oh
I got
my God.
covered too.
You know, I've done a lot of couch commentaries on comedies, and most of them are terrible, but this one, The Layover, the comedy in The Layover, seems to be the worst iteration of comedy I think ever. The entirety of the comedy is either, let's say the F word, and that's funny.
What the How are you doing that with your mouth?
And that's funny, or let's scream at the top of our lungs, and that's funny.
Oh my God!
This is really my humor. I love slapstick. I love broad comedy.
I don't know why anybody would let this slide, but this is the laziest way of trying to be funny. Just cursing and screaming. It's both of those things, I mean, can be funny. A well-timed sex joke can be really funny. A well-timed scream can be funny. But when it's literally all the movie has to offer, it is so bad that it physically hurts to watch. Every time a joke comes on screen, every time a joke is said by someone, it makes me shrivel a little bit. It sends a chill up my spine because of how bad it is. And Red Letter Media, if you don't know who they are, they're a YouTube channel, film critics. Definitely check them out. They make great stuff. But Red Letter Media has a saying called non-medi. They've coined back in 1962 or whenever they made their channel, because they're like ancient dinosaurs now. But they coined the phrase non-medi, and basically what it means is that
there are jokes that make you laugh, okay? And then there are jokes that you have no reaction to. But every now and then there's a joke so bad it makes you less laugh.
A negative amount of laughing.
You'll just be sitting there normal, and then the joke will happen, and then you'll slightly less smile, even though you weren't smiling. And that is called non-medi.
And that is the definition of the layover.
Oh my God.
Directly after this balloon scene, we go literally straight into a pool scene where Kate Upton and Alex want to try and impress the guy a different way. So they start to do all these different flips into the pool. And then Kate belly flops and hits her face or something. And she flips off a young kid. And then it has one of the worst cuts ever. What was that? Who cut this movie? This scene right here actually could be good. This is the only scene in the movie that I see legitimate potential in, because Alex is drinking at a bar and Kate comes in and says, "Are we drinking?" And Alex orders her drink exactly how Kate likes it. She knows exactly what ice she wants in it, exactly how it's made, and she orders it for her without Kate having to order it. And it's a nice little moment where it's like, oh, these two are friends that know each other very well. The only problem is that we didn't see what Kate liked beforehand. So when she orders it, you're like, oh, does she actually like this, or is she just ordering whatever she wants? It's things like this where William H. Macy almost goes out of his way to not set things up and not pay things off. Because this could have been a nice scene. If we were given maybe 10 more minutes at the beginning of this movie to get to know these two characters and the relationship together, maybe some scenes would work. Maybe if we saw them go to a bar after both of them had a terrible day and they order drinks for each other because they know each other so well, or they order their drinks and then they both make mental notes of it, and then we see them order it verbatim now in this scene, it would have been a nice little moment. We're like, oh right, they are friends. They like each other. But the movie, it doesn't portray that at all. Every time that one of these scenes pops up, it's just like, we're friends, remember? And it's like trying to tell the audience that they're friends, but there is nothing at the beginning, middle, or even the end that clues me in to the fact that they were friends before the movie started. So anyway, this guy and the two girls decide to hit the road to Florida in this green screened car, and we get some more horrible editing.
You know what? I want to sit in the back.
I hate me too.
Whoa, 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 no switching, no.
You just
Hey, no switching.
What are you doing? Sit right here. Just get right here. Go so I can see.
This is the easiest scene to fix. Who edited this movie? I mean, look at this. I will edit this scene better. Okay, look at my edit.
They always put too much ice in this.
And look at the film's edit.
You know what? I want to sit in the back.
I hate me too.
Whoa, 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 no switching, no.
You just
Hey, no
What are you doing? Sit right here. Exactly. Just get right here. Go.
But in the film, there's just like blatant continuity errors where it's like, oh, she's going in the back, but then she's just right in the front again. And then in the next scene, she's in the back now. Like, just cut one scene and then it makes more sense. That's it. That's all you needed to do. So Kate locks Alex in this disgusting bathroom, and so she has to crawl out of a window to get out. And we get arguably the worst sequence in the entire movie.
Even if you need a date, I brought a dress. It's really easy.
Oh my God.
Are you okay? What happened?
What happened? Someone locked me in the bathroom. That's what happened.
Why? Who would do that?
That homeless guy. You know what? I smelled meth on him.
Guys, what is taking so... Oh my God. Are you okay? Oh, you got something on you. Where are we? I think that's poop.
Like, not only is this horribly unfunny, but it is just annoying. And at this point, I'm convinced that Alexandra Daddario cannot act. In Baywatch, she plays her part for the most part, like she's at least cast semi-decently, but here she's supposed to be an English teacher, and she's terrible at that.
So many exciting themes in one little book, right?
Something on you.
She's terrible at being an English teacher, and she's terrible at being like the slutty girl that's gonna get the guy. She is just terrible in this movie. But I mean, maybe she's a good dramatic actor, which I doubt, but she has no comedic timing whatsoever, which means everything in comedy. If you don't have good timing, then the jokes do not work. I mean, look at the original Ghostbusters and look at some of the jokes in this.
Pittman, I saw it.
It's right here, Ray. It's looking at me.
He's an ugly little spud, isn't he?
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Don't move. It won't hurt you.
The timing in that is whipped smart and sharp and just perfect in almost every way. But then you look at this, and it's just like this ceaseless cursing and yelling and constant editing to the point where every joke just seems like it's at the cost of another joke. Where they're just shuffling through endless jokes to try and guarantee a laugh by just putting thousands of jokes in, except that none of them are left for the audience to dwell on, so none of them are funny. They say a joke and you say, what? Wait, hold on, let me think about that. And then they're saying another joke and you say, oh, okay, well, what about, why did that work? Oh, there's another one. Wow, there's another one. And it never lets you sit on a joke. It never gives you a moment of silence to say, oh, that's funny, and laugh. It's just this constant barrage of terrible humor. Ugh. So Kate drugs her driver, and even though she knows, fully aware that he is drugged, she still decides to fall asleep, and so does he, and then he hits a sign, completely ruins his car, and then they have to stop at some random hotel and make a little bit of a layover. So now that she's drugged this guy, ruined his car, and ruined her relationship with her friend, she says, you can just have him. I don't want him anymore. And Alex says the amazing line, I just didn't want you to have him.
He's yours, okay? He's yours. I don't want him. I just didn't want you to have him.
Neither of them wanted the guy. Both of them wanted to pretend nothing bad was happening in their life and were competing with each other so that they could forget the bad things that they needed to actually deal with back at home, like paying rent and stuff like that.
And even though Alex says she doesn't want him anymore, she lets him grope her in front of this ice machine or soda machine, and it's horribly uncomfortable. And then we get one of the most painful sex scenes of all time, in which Alexandra Daddario just screams, because that's funny. But this just gives us a little bit more evidence of Alexandra's inability to be funny in the least. So now Kate and Alex have a full-on fight because they find out that both of them have slept with the super hot guy.
Hot enough?
So So they beat the crap out of each other until they get arrested or put in handcuffs or something, and then they find out that the super hot guy isn't going to his buddy's wedding, he's going to his own. Whoa, whoa, plot twist! Except it's stupid. This plot twist is dumb and broken, because this guy is going to his own wedding, he's engaged, so where is his wedding ring? He never wears a wedding ring throughout the entire movie. Like, yeah, if two girls were throwing themselves onto me, if I was getting engaged, I'd probably say no, or I would just slip the ring off when I found out that they wanted to, you know, get with me. But not beforehand. Like on the plane, it's not there. In this shot, it's not there. In this shot, it's not there. Like, where is it? Does he even have one? Not to mention the fact that he's coming to his own wedding alone? On a plane from wherever? Where's his family? Where's his parents? Where's his friends? Like, where's his, like, fiance even? Where are anybody? Why is he going to his own wedding alone? This is so strange. Would anybody actually do this? So yeah, this twist is dumb and broken already, but nothing really comes of it. It comes out of nowhere, for one, and then it just ends in a couple of scenes. Like, we see them walk around and they go to try and ruin his wedding, and then when they meet his bride-to-be, or wife now, I guess, she's just like a horrible person, kind of. She's just sort of picky, and they're like, ooh, karma is served.
Oh, that'll come right up. I think it's the ham croquette.
Did you talk to your parents?
I'm on my way.
No, I'll do it. Do you think you can make it to the garden by yourself?
Yeah.
Sorry, we were supposed to start photos 7 minutes ago. Are you two... What? Staying?
No, I think we just came to see your dress.
Oh, the dress!
Oh yeah, no, it's
Christopher Perry. It was his idea. He came here to design it. I hope I can do it justice.
Are you kidding me? I think that justice is very well served.
And then the movie's just like over. They just move on with their lives. They have like a coming together scene, and then they go back to exactly where they were before all of this started, except now they're watching The Bachelor with highlighters instead of alcohol. So I guess they learned something. It's not very clear, but this movie is a gigantic mess. It's so bad to the point where it's like literally painful to watch. It hurts me every time I watch this movie, and it's so bad to the point where there's nothing good I can say about it. Even Baywatch has at least one thing that I found was okay. Here there's just nothing. Just nothing. There are long stretches in this movie where I just have no idea what's supposed to be happening. I've watched this movie 3 times and have rewound multiple scenes just to get what's going on a lot of times. Because the movie's pace is so breakneck that a lot of times it just moves from set piece to location to location to location, one after the other after another without any real connecting thread. And so it's just this big mess of jumbled ideas and set pieces that go nowhere, that don't really accomplish anything, and they seem to only be there for the laughs, but they're not funny because they move on from them so quickly. If you want your comedy to work, you have to be smart about your filmmaking. And William H. Macy isn't. This isn't a Netflix stand-up special. There are editors, actors, costume designers, sound designers, cinematographers, and so many other people that I'm not naming that are working on this picture, and yet William H. Macy plays it like it's just a whole bunch of different Netflix stand-up specials that are rammed together to make a 90-minute feature. It's so baffling. There are some movies that are so bad that they're hilarious, like Wish Upon. And then there are movies like The Layover that are so bad that they physically hurt you. So I cannot recommend this movie. Whatever. Who cares? Not me. See you in the next video, everyone. Goodbye. I'm fine. Whoa, I'm fine.